The question says that you are to give three polar coordinates for points that are at the same location as A equals -2, 11 pi over 6. How do these polar coordinates work when you're graphing? When you are graphing, you can use degrees, you can use radians. This is positive, counterclockwise. This is negative, clockwise. And all you have to do when you're doing polar coordinates is go to a location with an angle. So go to the same terminal location. In other words, here's 11 pi over 6. 11 pi over 6, and remember, this is 2 pi. Positive 2 pi is all the way around. Well, 2 pi is 12 pi over 6. So 11 pi over 6 is pi over 6 away from 2 pi. So that's our terminal angle. We're just using the angle that this question gave. So I go there. And then if I have to go, how do I get my R? If I go from the origin towards where my pen was when I figured out the angle, that's a positive R. If I go from the origin away from where my angle was when I did my pen like that, then that's a negative R. So I'll say it one more time. We won't even use numbers this time. You go to wherever the angle is. I'll go here this time. That's the angle, whatever it is. So that would be the theta. And then the R part would be, if I want that point where I had to go from the origin to where my pen was, that would be a positive R. And if I went from the origin away from where my pen is, that was a negative R. And R is like radii away from the origin. You just draw these circles, like a bullseye kind of. So the R is how far out you are from the origin. If you go towards where your pen was when you made the angle, it's plus R. If you go away from where your pen was when you made the angle, it's a negative R, however many steps I went away from the origin. Okay, let me get back to the origin. If you need to see it again, be kind, rewind. And I'll do the one that this question has asked about. It says 11 pi over 6. I've already done this. Remember, it's a positive angle. And this is 2 pi. This is pi over 2. This is pi. This is 3 pi over 2. If you're not comfortable with radians, convert everything into degrees. Multiply by 180, divide by pi, and you'll get degrees. So 11 pi over 6, I'm going positive. And again, 2 pi is 12 pi over 6. So you're pi over 6 away from 2 pi. This is pi over 6, this distance. So you can name this angle 11 pi over 6. That gets over here to where this terminal side is. And then it says -2, so I want to go from the origin away from where my pen ended up. So I go this direction to 2 radiuses. They're not actually drawn in there, but I'm going 2 away from where I ended up my pen. So it's over here. I could also write this another way. What's another angle that I can name this? Well, it's pi over 6 away from 12 pi over 6, which means it's a negative angle, negative pi over 6. And I go to negative pi over 6, and then I want to go from the origin to away from where my pen ended up. So I go there. I want to get to the same point. So it's -2 again. -2, negative pi over 6. That's another way to name that point. Well, there's another way to name the point. I could talk about the angle on this side. This angle, it's pi over 6 away from pi. Pi is 6 pi over 6. And this distance, it's on a straight line from where 11 pi over 6 was. It's 6 pi over 6 minus pi over 6, which is 5 pi over 6. So I could also call this 5 pi over 6. And then notice my pen ended up over here. So I'm going towards it because I want to get to that same point. So I'm 2 comma 5 pi over 6. That's another way to name it. And it asks for 3 different ways. This is the original one. So let me think of one other way to name it. Let me think. It's 5 pi over 6. Well, let me go this direction. Let me change the color of the pen. I'll go this direction and end up in this place. So since I'm going to be towards where my pen was, it's going to be 2. And then what is this angle? Well, it's pi over 6 away from pi, but in the negative direction. So this is a negative angle. It's negative pi over 6 minus another pi over 6. Not negative pi over 6 minus another pi over 6. Negative pi, which is negative 6 pi over 6, minus pi over 6, which is negative 7 pi over 6. So I ended up over there. And it's 2 because I'm going towards it. So all you have to do is find out where the angle goes. Put your pen there. If you're going out towards it from the origin, it's a positive r. If you're going away from it from the origin, it's a negative r. And then if you ended up there going clockwise or counterclockwise, it's positive. If you ended up there going clockwise, it's negative. So there's all kinds of ways you can name this point A. Negative 2, 11 pi over 6, negative 2, negative pi over 6. 2, 5 pi over 6, 2, negative 7 pi over 6. All kinds of different ways to name it.